Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Lincoln Riley in the USC Trojans getting after it again, landing three-star cornerback from the state of Texas, Braylon Conley. And you see the three-star ranking. Okay, we'll take that for what it is. You take a look at this kid's offer sheet. It's not a three-star offer sheet. Texas, Oregon, Auburn, Georgia, Michigan, all extending offers this kid. And we talk about this a lot, right? 24/7 Sports, they're going to have their own evaluation on these kids coming out of high school. And then the Power 5 teams are too. And there were a lot of programs across the country, the Blue Bloods, some of the best programs in the entire country, wanted this kid in the 2024 class. And Lincoln Riley going to the state of Texas again and getting it done. This has been just an absolute blast to watch USC build this class in 2024 over the last couple weeks. Now, before we get into talking a little Braylon Conley, and then talking about what this USC class could look like and who they are trending for, I just want to say thank you to the USC fans. And like for real, the amount of love, and I say it all the time, you guys have shown the last couple of weeks has absolutely meant the world to the boys. So we appreciate it. I've had a blast talking USC football, getting in the comment section with you guys. So if you do enjoy the updates, you enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. More importantly, get in the comment sections, throw the fight on. Again, appreciate all the support and you guys rocking with us the way that you guys do. And let's get into Braylon Conley. And the first thing I want to talk about when you turn on Braylon Conley's film, and we're going to get to the tape in a second, is he is a guy that is physical and he's extremely explosive. When it comes to getting downhill, breaking on footballs, or going up into the box and tackling, Braylon Conley certainly checks off all those boxes. And then you look at the background, he's got a nice frame, 6 foot, 170, background in track and field, so you know speed is not going to necessarily be an issue. And that's becoming more and more important when you're recruiting these defensive backs in the back end of defenses. Wide receivers are fast these days, and if you don't have the speed to keep up, it is really hard to cover someone that's just straight up faster than you. And so Braylon Conley having that background in track and field, something I absolutely love. And another thing, shout out Dante Williams. He is doing a phenomenal job building this secondary group in 2024. You're looking at one of the best secondaries in the 2024 class with the USC Trojans. Just in the last couple of weeks, Marcellus Williams, Dakota Fields, 2 top 100 nationally ranked cornerbacks, Marquise Gallegos, another safety that we talked about a little bit a couple of days ago. Absolutely love his game. And now you add Braylon Conley. This secondary room is becoming a real strength for USC. And Dante Williams doing a really, really nice job acquiring talent, and maybe Xavier Brown's next. I'm not sure, but if you're a USC fan, you're taking a look at the future of what this secondary room is going to look like. You got to be feeling pretty damn good about what it looks like. Now, let's get into Braylon Conley's film because he's a fun watch. When you talk about getting a Big Ten type of defensive back, a guy that is not afraid to get his hands dirty in the run game, a guy that is physical at the line of scrimmage, Braylon Conley checks all those boxes. I like him best in zone. Like when he's able to sit back in zone, keep his eyes on a quarterback, and then fire at a wide receiver. Nobody breaks on the ball harder than a guy like Braylon Conley, but he also can do some press man. Like he is very physical, and then he's a playmaker too. Like go out, find the football, make a play for your team. I like that. Again, a lot of stuff to like about him, but the best is when he's in zone coverage, is put in a spot where he can just keep his eyes on the quarterback and go make a play. That's where he excels. But again, the ball skills are there too. You see him going up with a back shoulder fade, making a play. And then this play is also kind of special. Like he kind of gets beat on the double move, but he has the speed and the fluidity to flip those hips and start running vertically with the wide receiver. That's something that maybe the technique was not great and you got caught with the eyes in the backfield a little bit. But having the speed and athleticism to make up for that is massive. And again, he's a guy that takes on blocks when it comes to having to tackle in the run game. He's a guy that is more than willing to do so as well. All around, just a really, really good get for USC, especially when you talk about going to the Big Ten and having to play a little bit more of a physical brand of football. I think Lincoln Riley is keeping an eye on that with who he wants to bring in this high school class. And you're getting some physical guys. And talk about physical guys. We didn't get a chance to talk about Mekhi Siena, another Texas kid that you take a look at Mekhi Siena's offer sheet. Texas A&M, Arkansas, Auburn, all after him. A big body interior offensive lineman. Josh Henson, Lincoln Riley, and the USC Trojans able to go to the state of Texas, take one of the better offensive linemen from the state of Texas and bring him to USC. That's another massive recruiting win that you're starting to become encouraged with the brand of recruiting victories that USC is having, right? Beating out Big Ten schools, beating out schools in Texas for kids in Texas. They're not just recruiting the state of California, which USC is going to excel in. That's always going to be a spot where they're going to be able to win those battles. But being able to go to the state of Texas, go to the state of Florida and beat out for a guy like Jason Zanamella, that was a player that was wanted by all the Florida schools, all the SEC schools. You're getting really encouraged about Lincoln Riley becoming that national brand in this program, becoming that national brand where we can go anywhere in the country and go recruit the top talent. Now, taking a look at this class as a whole, it is coming together, right? Top 8 class, top 5 class, I believe, depending on what services you use. This will be their 16th commitment and a really well-rounded group, right? Highlighted by the pass catchers and that secondary room, Xavier Jordan and Ryan Pelham, 2 top-notch wide receivers. You missed out on a guy like Draylon Miller. All I'm going to say, keep your eye on the transfer portal for Draylon Miller, right? Decides to go to Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher. It doesn't normally work out for wide receivers when they go to College Station. I'm just going to say that. That is no knock on Texas A&M. That offense hasn't been it. If his name pops up in the portal in a year, Lincoln Riley's going to be after a kid like Draylon Miller. But getting back to this 2024 class, Marcellus Williams and Dakota Fields really locking down that cornerback spot. I'm most impressed with the offensive line, though, right? A Mekhi Sienna, a Jason Zanamella, and then even on the defensive side of the ball, Cameron Fountain going into the state of Georgia and grabbing top talent. This class is coming together. But what's more exciting is that they're not nearly done. And I want to talk David Palapel first. I did some film on him this morning. 6'3", 300-pound defensive lineman from the state of Pennsylvania. You are in it with Michigan, Penn State, 2 premier Big Ten schools. Beating out Penn State for a kid in Pennsylvania is hard to do. And it seems like USC is trending in the right direction. He's announcing his commitment tomorrow afternoon. So if he goes to the USC, we'll be down breaking it down. But that's kind of that Big Ten body that USC is looking for. But going down the list to just who they've had on campus, Mike Matthews probably on the outside looking in that recruitment. The same with Draylon Miller just committed to Texas A&M last night. But you're starting to feel good about what this class could look like. And I want to take it to, we're going to go down here. Who do they have on campus? Kingston Viliamu Assad. Lincoln Riley, retweets his tweet. That's a personalized retweet from the head coach of USC. And I'm being a little sicko here, reading into the social media games. That's a top 100 kid, one of the best linebackers in the country from St. John Bosco. It's clear that Lincoln Riley is making Kingston Viliamu Assad a priority in this 2024 class. You talk about Big Ten linebackers, 6'3", 230, has the athleticism to go sideline to sideline. And then if you do get him, go after his boy from St. John Bosco, Peyton Woodard, who is committed to Georgia right now. But I would not be surprised if he is one of those guys on flip watch, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think moving to the Big Ten encourages a lot of these kids and saying, I want to go play a defense in the Big Ten. And so Peyton Woodard is not a guy to count out. And then the last two I want to talk about, Taylor Tatum and Xavier Brown, right? Taylor Tatum, a lot of the traction has been with Oklahoma. But the longer it goes without a commitment, I think the better it is for USC, right? He took an official visit to USC, and you started seeing all the crystal balls go to USC. Then he takes his visit to Oklahoma, and all the crystal balls go to Oklahoma. The longer it gets in this process, the more I like USC's chances to get their way back into that race. And then Xavier Brown, it might be a tough sell now to get him in the boat with Braylon Conley, Dakota Fields, and Marcellus Williams. But he's another elite guy, top 60 nationally ranked dude. He's boys with Dakota Fields. He's boys with Marcellus Williams from the state of California. If you get Xavier Brown, you're suddenly looking at one of the best secondary rooms in the years of 2025, 2026, or maybe even 2024. So you got Domani Jackson already in there, young cat that I'm a huge fan of. It's really picking up for USC. I think the next move is David Palapel. We'll talk about that tomorrow if it does happen. But I don't think USC is done. And again, if they become a college football playoff, they are a bona fide college football playoff contender. If they can make some noise this year, which I think everybody expects they will, I could see some late action too in November and December as well. This is going to be a very fun team to follow, not only this year, but as they move into the Big Ten. And it does seem like Lincoln Riley's doing a really nice job getting this team from a personnel standpoint to be competitive in the Big Ten and make some noise year one. Again, appreciate the USC fans for always showing the love. You guys have been absolutely awesome. So if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all